Flower anatomy. I stole this from an ag teacher friend that I have from out west because it was much better than mine. We're going to make sure that you can describe the parts of a flower, explain the purpose of a flower, and list some different types of flowers. The parts of the flower are the most obvious part on the plant. They're made of many intricate and important parts, and most flowers contain both male and female parts. The male part of the flower is called the stamen, which is made of the stalk-like filament that holds up the sac-like anther. The anther contains pollen, the grains released by the flower, which contains the sperm, and the flowers that only have male parts are called staminate. The female part of the flower is called the pistil. It consists of a sticky tissue at the end called the stigma, which is receptive to pollen. Below the stigma is a rod-shaped middle part called the style and a swollen base containing eggs called the ovary. Flowers that only have female parts are called pistillate. As you can see, the pistil's parts are on the left. The stamen happens to be on the right in this picture. Everything's labeled for you to see. Flowers often have parts that are neither male nor female. These are the petals, and they're usually the colorful leaf-like structures that purpose is to attract animals and insects. When all of the petals are fused together, we call them a corolla. Beneath the petals are more leaf-like structures called sepals, which are often green. The sepals support the petals and protect the flower before it opens. When all of the sepals are fused together, we call it a calyx. The purpose of a flower is for a plant to be able to reproduce sexually. The process of sexual reproduction in the plants is that the stamen releases pollen. The pollen is carried by an animal, wind, gravity, or many other methods to the stigma of another flower. When the pollen from one flower lands on the stigma of a compatible flower, we call it pollination. Flowers are adapted to pollinate each other in an astounding number of different ways using an equally amazing number of methods called vectors to help them. Once the pollen reaches the stigma, it starts to go down into the style, depositing sperm in the ovary. When the sperm combines with the eggs in the ovary, we call it fertilization. After the eggs have been fertilized, the ovary and the surrounding tissues start to enlarge to become a fruit, and the fertilized eggs actually become the seeds. You can see that from the picture. Flowers come in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. Not all of them have structures mentioned previously. A flower that has both male and female parts is a perfect flower, and a flower that's missing either male or female parts is called an imperfect flower. If a flower has sepals, petals, pistils, and stamens, we call it a complete flower. If a flower is missing one of those, we say it's an incomplete flower. Imperfect flowers are always incomplete. Incomplete flowers may or may not be perfect. So it's possible for incomplete flowers to be imperfect or perfect. Imperfect flowers, though, are always incomplete. Now, if you guys would like to have some bonus points, up to 10 bonus points, if you will go ahead and review these 10 questions and write down your answers, feel free to go back through the video and review any questions that you may not know the answers to. If you will turn those in tomorrow, I will give you up to 10 bonus points. It's 1 point per correct answer. So there's 10 questions. Have fun. Thank you.